Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond the Realms, and I apologize for having to go back to using my iPad to make videos again, but for some reason I've been having a issue with my editing software here lately, and until I get that figured out I'm going to have to do videos this way, so I guess it's better than nothing. But today I have a review for the latest film that is extremely polarizing that just hit Blu-ray and DVD this week. And it is Cloud Atlas from the Wachowski siblings. Cloud Atlas is, how do I say this? One of the most unique films I've ever seen. One of the most ambitious films I've ever seen. It's truly an original film. And how do you describe this film? That is the question. Like, what is this story about? Well, the way I would look at this film and how I've described this to people is if you put this film on in a room for 10 people, all 10 people are going to come away with something different out of this film. Now, I realize movies like this aren't for everybody, not by any means. I think that's why there's been a lot of polarization going on as far as opinions go with this film. And, but I guess the gist of the story is, there are 6 stories going on in this film all at once, and it spans a course of about 500 years, starting in 1849 and going all the way up to like the 2300s. And each story is from a different time period with different characters, and many times the actors in this film are playing different characters in each story that's going on. But the thing is, it starts off and you can immediately see it's going to bounce around a lot. It bounces around to each story just continuously. But as the story goes along, you start to see how they're interconnected. You start to see that the stories are all connected. And there's things that go on in one story, and it kind of builds up, and the payoff will happen in another story. That's where the uniqueness of this comes from. And really, I guess, the overall premise of the film is, things that you do in your life, or things that you experience or encounters that you have in your life can affect other things that happen on down the line for other people in other centuries, and just how things that you do can carry on, and affect other things. That's really what this story's about. And there is some reincarnation going on in this film, some reincarnation elements. But as you can see, Tom Hanks and Halle Berry, they star in this. Tom Hanks probably has the biggest roles, I guess you could say, in the film. But like I said, several actors play several different characters in this. You have Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Hugh Grant, Hugo Weaving, Jim Broadbent, Jim Sturgis, Duna Bay, Michael Winshea, James Darcy, Keith David, and Zun Zhou, which all play multiple characters. You will see them pop up throughout the film in different time periods. And the thing is, some of them, will be a male in one story and maybe a female in another. It bounces around like that. Like, one thing I will say, I'll give away, is Hugo Weaving at one point plays a female nurse, which is pretty odd, pretty bizarre, and pretty disturbing to see. But there's a lot of prosthetic effects going on in this film to make the actors look completely different, and oftentimes you have a hard time recognizing them. Like, there was a few of them I didn't even really catch the first time around. I mean, there's some that's very obvious, and most of them are, but a few of them threw me off. And I actually did watch this film 2 times before reviewing it, because the first time through I liked it, but there was a lot of confusion. I had to watch it in pieces. I didn't get to watch the whole thing continuously throughout. So I figured, it was best if I watched the film a second time, give it a second chance. And I gotta say, a second time around really, really paid off, and I'm really glad that I watched it twice before reviewing it, because everything really clicked more a second time around. I pored over the special features. I looked up different things online. There are charts that lay out each of the characters and how they're all intertwined. And, seeing a lot of that stuff really made the film make a whole lot more sense. and really made me see the brilliance of it. Now, with that said, I understand, a lot of people are not going to want to watch a film like this, a film that you are studying, or you have to learn how to understand it. Most people just want to watch a film, just be entertained, and be done with it. They don't want to have to do things like this. But, for those of you that do like experimental filmmaking and do like storytelling that's just in a totally different way, this is going to be a film that you're going to want to check out. Now, I also understand some people may not like it for the reasons of it being reincarnation. Maybe, you don't believe in those things or whatever, or, religious convictions could hold you back from enjoying this film. But I say try to not let that get to you as you watch this. Just try to let the film speak for itself. Because from what I hear, the guy that wrote the book doesn't even himself believe in reincarnation. And the bottom line is, it's a fictional story. It's a made-up story. It's not trying to tell you reincarnation is a real thing or you should believe in reincarnation. Just, if you can, just try to go with the flow of the story and accept it as a great fictional story. But yeah, this film, I have to say, I really, really liked it, and it's a film that I think even more viewings will make the story present itself even further, and a lot of the complexities of the story will really pop out with multiple viewings, without a doubt, because there's just so many things in this film. There's so much to take in with just one viewing. There's no way you can watch this film just one time and say, oh yeah, I got it. It's just not possible. There's so much in it. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes long, but it goes along at a brisk pace. Never one time was I bored during this film. It continually kept me entertained, and it's probably the shortest 3-hour movie I've ever seen, if that makes any sense. I really liked how all the stories played in, and how the stories are drastically different. You have a story, the 1800s story takes place on the sea in a boat. Then you have a story in the 1970s with like oil production and trying to figure out a way around that, and some there's science fiction stories in this, a couple different ones, and one like you would expect, with flying cars and stuff like that, but then one way further in the future where, basically mankind has destroyed itself back into like a primitive nature, and that's the one that takes place in the 2300s. But Cloud Atlas, yeah, like I said, it's if you really want to get a film that's experimental, if you really want to get a film that's going to challenge you to think, and challenge you to really pay attention to it and watch it to be able to fully grasp it, then I say give it a shot. But if not, you might want to pass on this one. I myself think that it is just a completely awesome film, and I will certainly be watching this one again and again over the time, as the years go on. It just seems like the older I get, the more that I like films like this that really challenge you. Like this one, The Tree of Life, and things like that, stories like that there's not a definitive answer of exactly what it is. I really enjoy films like this. So Cloud Atlas, guys, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The Blu-ray looks fantastic, absolutely flawless picture quality, reference quality material. It's kind of light on special features. I mean, it does have probably 45 minutes of what they call the focus points, and they do explain some of the stories, and they show some of the ways things are tied in that I certainly didn't catch some of them. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, so the special features are worth checking out. Unfortunately, there's no commentary on here. This would be one that would be worth a commentary, because how they shot this film, with it basically being 6 films and put into one. The Wachowski siblings did 3 of them, and then what's the other director that worked on this? I'm not even sure of his name. Tom Dwiker. So yeah, he did 3 of the stories, and the Wachowski siblings did the other 3, and they combined them together to make the whole movie. I mean, it's such an ambitious project. It's truly amazing how they put this together. I mean, it has to be one of the most ambitious film projects ever. And I mean, sometimes it can be probably a little bit far-reaching. Sometimes maybe a little bit too convoluted, and they try to reach a little bit too far with what they're trying to do in the movie. But it still works, and it is a great film in my opinion. So yeah, guys, that is Cloud Atlas. It is out now. So check it out, guys. I hope you all are doing well. Have a good one. Talk to you later.